Alrighty guys, we're back for Angels at High Noon, and this is a Dragonstorm Standard Brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. But first things first, we built this together over on the Twitch channel. Awesome. We have all four High Noon. It's a 2-mana enchantment. Each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. Okay. Also on this card, for 4 and a red, sacrifice this enchantment. It deals 5 damage to any target, which is a chunk of damage, dude. Now, what kind of angels do we have packed in? Well, we have all 4 Giada, Font of Hope. It's a 2-mana 2/2 Flying Vigilance. Each other angel you control enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it for each angel you already control. Then also you can tap this, add a white mana, spend this mana only to cast an angel spell. Yeah, even though it's a legendary, all 4 of them for a very good reason, huh? All 4 Youthful Valkyrie as well. It's a 2-mana 1/3 Flying Angel, and whenever another angel you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Awesome. How about all 4 Inspiring Overseer? 3-mana 2/1 Flying Angel. When this creature enters, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Nice. All 4 Archangel of Wrath. Not going to take the time to go over it. Should do the thing nicely. We have Aurelia's Vindicator here, as well as Aurelia, the Law Above, here on the top end. We do have a non-angel creature packed in. Aven Interrupter is a 3-mana 2/2 flash flying. So with flash, it'll work well with High Noon, right? When this creature enters, exile target spell. It becomes plotted. Spells your opponents cast from graveyards or from exile cost 2 more to cast. So if you have High Noon on the board and you interrupt their only spell for the turn, that's actually pretty brutal for the opponent, huh? Because you're actually getting a great tempo play with a 2/2 flyer coming down on the same turn. So because we have Aven Interrupter, we're actually opting for Soul Partition as our choice spot removal. Only a couple of them packed in. Honestly, we should consider more Soul Partition, but we also have a couple Lightning Helix for some removal too. A little bit of life gain goes a long way. Also, there's a potential of just hitting the opponent's face and being happy about it. How about an Elspeth Smite oddity the thing nicely? Slowing down the opponents is kind of important. Authority of Consul, making the cut as a 4 of. Whether you're slowing down the early game or just preventing the opponent from mid-game chump blocks in the air or something, I don't know. If it gives you a turn here or there, then Authority is going to be well worth it. And also, the life gain really comes in handy, especially if you have multiple Authority of Consuls on the board. All right, the mana base, all 4 Fabled Passage with, first of all, 25 total mana. But deck thinning with the Fabled Passage ought to be pretty darn good. We have all 4 Sunbillow Verge, all 4 Parlors as well. I don't think the Surveil land is going to hold us up at all for this particular deck list. Same concept for more of our tapped land with Restless Bivouac making the cut as a 1 of. Even Cori, Mountain, Monastery making the cut as a 1 of 2, which enters tapped unless you control a plains or an island. It has a bottom ability for 3 and a red. You can tap it, exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. So just a way to see some extra things off the top. And since we have 8 plains and all 4 parlors packed in, there's a real chance that the Mountain Monastery is going to enter untapped anyways, being a good utility land at that point. And also, don't forget Fabled Passage, being able to grab the plains out of the deck list too. No honorable mentions this time around, guys, because this sideboard was completely packed full of honorable mentions, and honestly, there could have been a few different ways that we put angels together. So at the very least, what should have made the cut as an honorable mention? Let me know in the comments. Either way, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, see how we do. All right, right into that first game. What am I expecting from the build? I don't know. It should be pretty good, man, but I'll tell you what, Standard is brutal right now. The deck lists that everyone is bringing to the table are super powerful. Don't really like this first hand, but I also think it would be a really weird mulligan too, right? Especially with the turn 1 Surveil not punishing us at all. I think we can get rid of the 5th land easy peasy here and not worry too much about it. Nice, good draw, really good draw. Let's get that Youthful Valkyrie down. Okay, carrot cake from the opponent. Would probably be a good deck list to see the Authority of Consuls. We should probably thin the deck list with the Fabled Passage. The opponent probably just plays one card next turn anyways. We could just keep like Lightning Helix open, but High Noon is still worthwhile. All right, we'll go ahead and thin the deck list, and I'm not going to make the opponent wait until the very last moment. We're just going to pop it now. Grab a Mountain quite successfully, and High Noon. All right, one card a turn. I'm not blocking the Bunny Rabbit. We're going for swings in the air instead, which I guess we should have started with the swing, but that's okay because the opponent was tapped out. During Innocence, it was just one card. Sunbillow Verge, okay. That's a lot of mana. I'm glad we thinned the deck list with the Fabled Passage, but the mana could come in handy. Not too much right now, but so Lightning Helix on the Innocence. Innocence comes back. They already know we're playing Angel, so we might as well go Cavern of Soul for the Angel, right? We have Lightning Helix for their turn. Alright. I guess we swing. And we wait for the very last moment on the Lightning Helix. Actually, what we should have done, we could have kept Valkyrie back, and then they probably wouldn't have swung with Innocence. We could have potentially changed their lines of play a little bit by keeping Valkyrie as a blocker. But I think this is probably fine. Yeah, Innocence coming back as an enchantment, but now it's not continuously hitting our face or gaining life every turn, but also Valkyrie just being a... They also get 2 card draw here from Innocence and the talent. All right. Well, I know what our one card is. It's Aurelia. The Law Above boosts the Valkyrie as well, and we get a pretty decent swing here. All right, we're flooding. We're flooding, guys. Actually, no, yeah, no, we definitely want to curve out when we can, but it, like, Parlor could get rid of another land that's potentially on top. They go for the swing. If it's an Elspeth Smite, we would lose the Aurelia. Outside of that, if we take 2 down to 19 and then they wipe the board with a Sunfall, I guess that's fine. Because, you know, if we were lower on health, we'd be a little bit more concerned about that. Once the board wipe actually lands, we're just in some serious danger. So, serious danger. Giada. All right. Well, let's get that Surveil. Guys, should I keep the other Giada? I mean, there's like a really good chance that the opponent pops the first one. No, we should send it because if this Giada survives, we'd rather see other angels that can also land on the board. We're in danger, dude. That board wipe was really bad, but the good news is it wasn't Sunfall. Sunfall would have also drawn them on the Caretaker's talent. All right, that's their one card, but they do have Fountain Port available. Soul Partition is pretty good. Yeah, one big thing when you have High Noon is the race to get the opponent down to 5, because then High Noon can clean it up. All right, let's get that swing with Giada. Actually, even another High Noon would be pretty decent here. It's going to be a get lost. So, about that other Giada, huh? About that other Giada. No, this is okay. Everything's fine. It's like I said, we were going to be in danger once the board wipe hit, so we just have to play for as many turns as possible. Maybe looking for the second High Noon. Although now the second High Noon... Oh, crap, dude. Even the Soul Partition doesn't work well against the Stormslayer because they still have 7 mana to play it next turn. Oh, no. We might have to go High Noon to the Stormslayer. They do go +1, though, so it's 6 loyalty. So on the stack, we'll do this because they'll only get 1 token, but they're going to draw 2 on the Caretaker's talent, so... I don't know how we get around that. Oh, 3 from the Enduring Innocence, too. You know something, guys? The Lightning Helix on the Innocent the longer we go on this game, the more I don't like that play, right? Because eventually they would have just Day of Judgment their own innocence anyways. Okay, Authority of Consuls. This could keep us in long enough to find enough burn. But yeah, guys, for real, I think that Lightning Helix should have just been something we hit the opponent's face with. Okay, they activate that before the Authority comes down, so that way we don't gain extra life here. Speaking of extra life, they're at 15 now. Yeah, we want to wait for the very last moment to pop the High Noon. Okay, all 7 mana for the Elspeth Stormslayer, which is well worth it. Hey, maybe the opponent will deck themselves out, huh? They're going to draw 3 here. But we gain 2, and then they swing for 2. Which actually isn't terrible. Also, guys, if they missed the board wipe, which I would say would have been unlikely, we would have been pretty lucky if they missed the board wipe. But if they did miss it, then I think it would have been leaning towards us. Ooh, second High Noon. Okay. It'll be very tempting to pop the first High Noon on their turn. Smack their face. We're in so much danger, though. Voice of Victory coming down tap. They draw off the Innocence. They have 6 cards in hand. Okay. They draw 2 more. We go up to 22. They swing for 4. Oh, guys. Guys. Caretaker's Talent, bottom ability. I think they want to do that, right? Probably, because they swing for 20 this turn if they do both of them. They're only going to do 1. And then we die next turn. Okay, well, this is still worthwhile playing out because we get to see more off the top, right? Oh, they didn't have enough mana. I see, I see. I thought the other talent was already prepared. Haha, more life gain. Let's go. Now our board wipe? No, we don't have any board wipes, but we do have a lot of burn packed in, don't we? Number 1, the Lightning Helix should have hit the opponent's face. Hey, another Lightning Helix. Dude, for real? For real? Wait a minute, guys. Oh my goodness, man. First of all, if that Lightning Helix would have hit their face, then there's a real chance we would have won this turn. Well, wait. What else would that have changed, though? Yeah, down to 2. If I wouldn't have hit that Innocence, dude, this could have come down to me easily. So we can't really blame the deck list here. Hey, good game, opponent. Not only that, too, the life gain on the Carrot Cake really came in handy for the opponent as well. There's a lot. There's so much to consider there. They do drop the 0 ability on the Elspeth as well. With the Mobilize, we gain 4 off the Authority of Consuls here. But we're still super duper dead. That's actually a really fun swing from the opponent too. Wow, yeah, I mean, yeah, we can't blame the deck list. Can you guys imagine if we would have pulled that off, even with all of the opponent's extra everything? I was just gonna say card advantage, but no, they had extra everything, dude. So, which I guess is card advantage, but yeah, you guys know what I mean. That's crazy. Not only with the Lightning Helix being burned, but also all 4 High Noons. That's pretty significant. But then also our top end Angel as well can come in with the extra kicker costs, which would have been pretty good that game. All right, turn 1's going to grab a mountain. We keep this. This would be a really weird mulligan. It's a little slow when the opponent's going first, but at least we have some early removal kind of sort of with the Soul Partition. And Aven Interrupter is pretty good too. Duress. Oh, crap, dude. Probably High Noon because they don't want to play around that. Soul Partition. I don't know what we're up against, so I am going to wait till the last moment with this Fabled Passage. Deep Cavern Bat. Okay. Now it's the High Noon. That takes away our turn 2 completely here. Which is probably what they want to do. Yeah, Duress into Deep Cavern Bat. Still a lot of things we can draw into for our turn 2. All 4 Giada. All 4 of the other angel that I don't remember the name of right now. They take the Interrupter, giving us our turn 2 still, which is actually excellent news. I wouldn't mind deck thinning here at all, too, with the Fabled Passage. So, hey, Giada, hi, dude. Wow. Now I think we curve out with Giada, right? Because I don't think the opponent's ready to play multiple things on the same turn anyways. That changes our line a little bit. Actually, if Giada was in hand, I'm like positive that that's what the Deep Cavern Bat would have picked up. Ah, nowhere to run. No, opponent. No, not like this. Okay, down to 19. And I guess Overseer replace itself. And Aurelia's Vindicator is not half bad, dude. They go cut down onto Overseer. All right. We're not in danger yet because they don't have a lot of damage swinging through. We do find our 4th, which is great news. Really good news. So Ward 2 on the Vindicator, like just playing this as a 4-drop is not terrible based on what's on the board now. Ward 2, oh, doesn't do anything because nowhere to run. Maybe it's Archangel. We could attempt Disguise. 1 second, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. Well, the Disguise also, like the Ward 2, the opponent gets around it easy peasy. And if we Disguise it, Cut Down hits it too, with the nowhere to run on the board. Maybe we do just play Vindicator and hope that they don't have something like another nowhere to run. I don't want to play Archangel because that's the best bet in our hand right now to pop the Deep Cavern back to get the Aven Interrupter back, so. Alright, it's gonna be, I guess any removal works here since they can get around the ward too. But Cut Down does not work since it's a 4-2. Alright, it was nothing from the opponent. That's great news. Yeah, Archangel, like, just being a 3-4 flying lifelink, that's also pretty darn good. How dare, opponent? How dare? Strategic Betrayal. I've been seeing more and more people playing with this, and I'd say well worth it. All right, Giada, nice. And let's get the High Noon down too. Hopefully the High Noon affects the opponent more than it affects us. Nowhere to run, pops the Giada, guys. Our poor angels. Now, mana off the top would be huge. It is going to be mana off the top. We call Angel, and we can go Aurelia, get a good swing, but I think we just kick this while we can. And we'll kick it with the Boros colors, totally fine. Pop the Deep Cavern Bat. Aven Interrupter comes back. All right. 4 cards in the opponent's hand. With 2 nowhere to runs on the board. Cut Down, Strategic Betrayal. We're hoping to actually keep an Angel out there eventually. It'd be nice if they missed the removal for the turn and waited for next turn. So that way we could interrupt the removal at the very least, right? But we'll see, we'll see. The opponent's missing their 4th mana too, which is pretty brutal for mono black, I would say. A lot of what they're trying to do is after 4 mana, especially if they're demons, but they might not be demons. It could just be mono black mid-range, which of course Shieldred and all those other goodies. I'm thinking that Archangel isn't going to stick around. They're just thinking, how do we want to kill it right now? Deep Cavern Bat, that that doesn't kill it. Aw, they took our Aurelia, guys. Mean. We're going to keep Aven Interrupter open and get a good swing with the Archangel. Yep, totally fine to play that. We don't want to forget High Noon's bottom ability by any means. Yeah, as long as we don't top deck too much land here in the mid game, then hopefully we can really start to establish an engine. Yeah, they take the 3. They know we have Interrupter in hand. That's a big thing that they need to play around now. As they get 1 card, but we interrupt it, which is just brutal stuff. And then the longer they miss the 4th, the more it should lean towards us, but if we just keep flooding too, then that's equally as bad as them missing. All right, it's gonna be Fabled Passage. Yeah. Well, at least we get to deck thin a little bit, huh? We just grab a plains with it, easy peasy. See what they do with the swing. And we definitely want to do some deck thinning with the Fabled Passage, which I guess, again, we should wait till the end of their turn. There's no real reason to want cards in the grave, but if it's going to be like another strategic betrayal or something, we don't really want them exiling the stuff in our grave either. But yeah, just based on our deck list, I guess it doesn't matter. With the sacrifice on the Sheoldred's Edict, we sacrifice the Interrupter. Then that's their 1 card for the turn. So we get to keep the Archangel around, which gives us plenty of time. I'm tempted by the High Noon pop the Deep Cavern Bat here. Getting the Aurelia back could be huge for us. I also don't want them to be able to do 2 things this turn. I think we save High Noon for the very last moment. Still have other removal we could find. Oh, guys, we're flooding. Hey, Lightning Helix. Hi. Okay. That's good. That's good. I think Lightning Helix is going to hit the Deep Cavern Bat, but again, dude, that last game could have easily come down to me because I didn't Lightning Helix the opponent's face when we have so much extra burn packed in. Wow, Bloodletter. We should probably High Noon that. Yeah. Yeah, probably. That's like our... It's like the only thing. Lightning Helix will still pop the bat. We have so much mana, we still play the Aurelia. Yep, I guess. Especially since they're tapped out here. That's probably okay. Okay, we still have the mana for it. Just double checking. Up to 29. Aurelia comes down. I hope we're okay, man. Get the opponent down to 8. They're finding their mana. It is going to be the demon version. I should have known that, though, because of the Sanctuary making the cut, right? Sheoldred. We're going to be flying in the air, guys. It's more mana. Oh, so bad. It's more mana. Get out of here. Shoo, shoo. Down to 1, but back up to 3. This is anyone's game, dude. I'm scared. I'm scared. We still have all the High Noons packed in. No. 3 High Noon. I don't know why I said all. Because we just got rid of 1. We still have 3 High Noons. We still have 1 Lightning Helix. So that's 4 pieces of burn. We have 3 more Archangel of Wraths as well. No blocks for sure, because we're at 33. They play a Deep Cavern Bat to block in the air, which means some spot removal. Wow. Lightning Helix, guys. Off the top. I'm on the edge of my seat. There we go. There we go. I don't... Because 3 open swamps, I guess there could have been something that surprised us with some life gain, right? Even so, if it took all their mana or something, we still had a swing. Deep Cavern Bat blocks the Aurelia, gains them another 1. 3 would get through over here. It really depends. I don't know what it could have been, but it could have been something. And I'll tell you what, Lightning Helix off the top, Whew, that was a good draw, man. So far, the Lightning Helix, just having extra burn in this deck list, has been really good. And as a 2 of, it kind of feels like we want more of them just based on those games so far, right? Also, we might want 24 mana because the flood was real. Heck yeah, dude. Look at this hand. Wow. All right. All right, guys. Now, see, this is where like the 25 mana should really come in handy because we want to make sure we have land every single turn and actually getting more than 4 on the board for an Archangel or something too. Like, kind of important. Okay, Soul Partition and Lightning Helix open. Uh-oh, guys. It doesn't look like the opponent's going to do anything this turn. I wonder if we drop the Lightning Helix while we have it. We probably want to be patient about it, right? I'm going to be patient about it. Parlor. Yep. Get that down. Fabled Passage. Dude. This is going to be too much mana, huh? We should send it, even though this could help us thin the deck list. Also, just sending it to the grave is a very similar concept, so... Except it happens 1 turn sooner. I'm going to bounce the Authority with that into the Floodmaw. Huh. We get a fishy. Nice. Okay, Soul Partition, Lightning Helix open. 3rd mana. It's going to be an Up the Beanstalk. Yeah. That's probably pretty good for them. We should Soul Partition it, right? Although it has the ETB, I'm pretty sure that's what they like. Pretty sure they like to bounce the Beanstalk back anyways, making them pay 4 for the Beanstalk next turn. If we don't have any other targets here, that's probably worthwhile. We should do that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, if they spend all 4 mana on this. Also, I guess Spell Pierce exists. Although, yeah, I guess while we do see Spell Pierce sometimes, we don't see a lot of Spell Pierce. So I think we can successfully go Angel on the Cavern and just play an Archangel because they plan on bouncing stuff anyways. Wait, let's go for the swing first. Yeah, just play the Archangel, because if they bounce it back, we have a chance of actually using the kicker costs. Alright, yeah. Worth it, probably, but it's still a really good tempo play from the opponent. Up the Beanstalk number 2 for the 2 mana. See if they find their 4th mana here. They find a Storm Chaser's Talent. Get an Otter. Alright, 5th mana comes down. We'll see if they trade Otter into Fishy. I doubt it. Let's see what happens. They do go for the trade. Okay, no, they're going to take the 1. Yeah, that would have been pretty surprising. Now, Archangel. Kick it for Boros colors. With Cavern of Souls on the board, it does help us kick the Archangel for the swamp too. If we needed to. Or if we see like a 6th mana off the top or something. It's going to be a bushwhack to find that 4th land. Yep, that makes sense. All right. Where's their big chunky creatures, huh? Actually, we should really take the turn for the Authority. Youthful Valkyrie is also pretty good. See what happens to the Authority, because they still have 3 mana open, guys. It could be counterspell. They're going to play the Crab before the Authority actually lands, which does tap down both of our creatures. The Crab being a 5/5, I'm pretty sure we want to save the burn from the 2nd Archangel for their face. Also, this enters tapped anyways. We could double down on Lightning Helix before they do anything fancy. I'm pretty sure the Lightning Helix wants to hit their face too, though. Let's get the Valkyrie down and keep Lightning Helix, 1 Lightning Helix open, and we're probably just going to hit their face, guys. Trying to do big damage in the air before they completely lock us down. Another up the beanstalk. Oh, that's really bad news, guys. Speaking of completely locking us down, this is a good start for them, because now if they can keep their hand infinitely stocked up as they play really cheap creatures based on their grave. Okay, Bushwhack. Oh no. They still have 2 mana open. Let's see if they tap those 2 mana down, and then we'll try a Lightning Helix on the crab, I guess. We do go up to 25 here, though. We'll see if they tap out before combat. I think there's a big possibility that Lightning Helix gets countered, probably by a negate. I do think that this deck list runs negate. Looks like they're going to go for the swing. So they're not tapped out, but we're still going to try it. No blocks. All right, let's see it. Yeah, they get to keep the crab around. This town ain't big enough is not a counterspell, but they do get to play the crab next turn, and they draw 2 off the up the beanstalks. We do find some tapped land. More land. We send that for sure, dude. For sure. And we have the option for Archangel. Kick it once. I guess it's okay, because it's similar concept. This time we'll go ahead and kick it with that swamp, huh? Off the cavern, just for fun. Hit their face, swing with fish. All right, we're in danger, dude. That's way too many up the beanstalks, and they're like ready to go. For sure, because only 1 crab. That means there's plenty more big old chunky creatures that they can slam down for super cheap. Oh, they opt for Kiora. There's still a chance that we can push this damage through. High noon. Yeah, dude. All right. Now we're talking, huh? That should really slow the opponent down when it comes time for them to dump all those creatures on the board. So before we play High Noon, I don't want this to be countered by any means. So we want to go to combat, let them play their crab to tap our creatures. And that taps them out. They do draw 2 off the up the beanstalks, though. That's dangerous stuff, man. Tap the creatures. Yeah, once we fizzle out, Cori Mountain Monastery should be pretty darn good. It's just, it's so expensive, because you have to tap this land too, plus the other 4. But that's pretty nice to have, like, to keep this open with your instant speed things, or maybe if you're out of other things to do because you played your 1 spell for the turn and you're super late game at that point. But yeah, you played your 1 thing, but you still have the Cori Mountain Monastery open. Makes sense. I like it, but it's just very expensive. The opponent has left the building, guys. Oh dear. Oh, there they are. Okay. So they tap our creatures. I almost passed on accident. Oh, get the Valkyrie down first. Then High Noon. Only 1 card a turn for you, opponent, which, like, sure, it stops them from spamming a bunch of creatures, but their deck list is still well suited for High Noon, as they could do 1 thing on their turn while keeping open the instant speed things for our turn, like their counter spells and stuff that we haven't seen any of yet. But also, like, Into the Flood Maw, this town ain't big enough, all things that they just can do on our turn, easy peasy. So while we slowed them down a little bit, we're still in a lot of danger here. Okay, also, Kiora swing is really bad. They're about to get the 8/8. They go Bushwhack. Oh no, guys. We should try to stop the Kiora for the turn, but it's probably a counterspell, but it hasn't been a counterspell yet, right? Oh, nice. Kiora is out of the equation. We lose the Youthful Valkyrie, which definitely sucks, but... Oh, guys, 1 spell a turn. Yeah, no counterspell from that. Yeah, we both played our 1 spell for the turn. Oh, nice. Oh, that works out nicely. We got High Noon down for a reason, and I already forgot. I guess it's one of those things too. It's easy. Ooh, Soul Partition. Okay. It's easy to overlook sometimes. Depending on, because it completely changes how the game is played, you know? Okay, swing for 4. Soul Partition we could do something fancy like bouncing the Archangel if they have, but they just want to bounce. They just want to bounce it anyways, so. They do have 2 open mana, so we'll see what they end up doing here. And we've gained so much life this game too that there's a seriously real possibility that we can get there little by little and just keep surviving their crab swings and whatnot. Like they're gonna take the 4 guys. What do they want to bounce with this this town ain't big enough? Soul Partition open, Cori Mountain Monastery open, High Noon ability open. I think that's it. Everything we want just open on their turn. The big thing is, like, when they tap out, do we want to try a Soul Partition on something? Probably not, because all of their ETBs. So they are going to go this town ain't big enough on the High Noon, so we don't get to play it, and they'll get to play as many things as they want next turn. We could just pop the High Noon. They draw 2. We could pop it, get them down to 6. They really, really pop off next turn. The Monastery, I think we don't pop it yet. Is that okay? I don't think we have 6 next turn. They have so many cards in hand. I think we want to play the High Noon again. But then there's a real possibility that it gets countered the second time and we wouldn't have the 5 damage going through. It's a really tough decision, man. It really, really is. With the opponent drawing twice every time they play many of their spells, they have already drawn 13 more cards than us. Wait, did they mill at all? I guess they didn't. Oh, yeah. Well, no. Cure is not mill. Cure is discard. Which also counts as drawing the 2 then, too. They do play the 4 mana up the beanstalk from earlier, guys. Okay. And then they still have 3 mana available. So Soul Partition hitting the crab could be good, but also, like, where's the counter spells? 2 mana available now. They draw 3. They probably keep the 2 mana open. But there's a chance. There's a chance that they tap out, we Soul Partition the crab, swing for 4, and if they do tap out, High Noon will come back down. Doesn't look like they're going to tap out. They go for the swing. Okay. I guess we attempt bouncing the crab. It does cost 4 mana, so it won't be this crab coming back down, but it could be another crab next turn. It's going to be this town ain't big enough, bounce it to hand so they don't have to pay the extra 2, but also they draw another 3. If we can stall the game out long enough, there's a real chance that the Up the Beanstalk could deck them, right? Because they have 23 cards remaining. Also, a full-blown Archangel next turn means no High Noon. So no matter what, we want to get the High Noon down. And probably, if we see untapped mana off the top, we have Archangel kick for 1, get him down to 9. Still establish the High Noon. We do find untapped mana, which I'm not mad about, right? We could actually double kick this, but while they're tapped out, we should get that High Noon down for sure. This should be okay. Hit their face down to 9. High Noon comes back down. And swing for fishy. Guys, if we would have popped the High Noon earlier, Like right now, there's a chance that they can bounce the High Noon back to hand anyways and still play as much as they want. Because we've only seen one Into the Floodmaw from them so far. I was going to say 3 this town ain't big enough, but only 2 this town ain't big enough so far too. So I'm expecting more Into the Floodmaws to be in their deck list. I'm definitely expecting 2 more this town ain't big enough in their deck list too. They got 8 cards in hand. Restless Vinestock on the board. I feel like High Noon's coming back to our hand, and I probably should have popped it earlier, right? Probably. But this town ain't big enough hitting the High Noon. That means it's not hitting our Archangel, which means Archangel could swing in the air. Yeah, if we would have popped it earlier, getting them down to 3. We already used both of our Lightning Helix. We still have 2 more Archangel of Wrath in the deck list. Oh, another Bushwhack, guys. I think that's their last Bushwhack. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, all 4 Bushwhack out of the deck list. They go, this town ain't big enough to pop our fishy. No, not the fishy. Also, this town ain't big enough. Bouncing up the beanstalks back to their hand is great news for them, as now there's a less chance of them decking themselves before they can actually find this damage to go through. So they have 15 damage on the board. I'm pretty sure this was heavily leaning towards the opponent for a while, but it's one of those confusing matches where you can't really tell. And also we're still squeezing damage through here and there as well. So I'll tell you what, I'm thinking more Lightning Helix for the build, but oh, second High Noon. Holy cow, dude. They have 3. This town ain't big enough. They have 1 more in the deck list. Is probably in hand. Only 1 Into the Floodmaw so far. No counterspells from the opponent yet, too. Okay. All right. We might be able to do this, guys. First High Noon lands. We pass it, then we pop it on their turn. We'll see. We could pop it now too. No. We want to pop it at the very last moment, like after they target it with another, this town ain't big enough or something, right? Yeah, just the extra burn packed into this deck list. It's actually like the key piece, the keystone of the build, the burn packed in. Isn't that silly? But that's how all the games have felt so far. All right. Both the opponent and I running down the timer. 1D on the board now, guys, and they do draw off the Up the Beanstalk. They have 13 cards remaining in the build. Yep, it was a 2-turn clock anyways, because they had Restless Vinestock on the board. So either way, we had 2 turns to get it done. So the other High Noon is just so good. But now, if they power up Restless Vinestock, swing for 25, down to 9. They don't know we have the High Noon. But yeah, Vinestock would be best case scenario for us because it taps 6 of their land. 5 and then the swing. No, they're going to keep it all open. Which, still 2-turn clock, so... We want to wait for the very last moment to pop the High Noon. Down to 14. Storm Chaser's talent. Come on, guys. Come on. That was their 1 card, but we still want to wait for their end step to pop the High Noon. What did they bring back with the Storm Chaser's talent, I wonder? Probably... Oh, this town ain't big enough. Oh, crap. Okay. Well, it's not a counterspell, so... We haven't seen any counterspells from the opponent. I don't think I see any in the grave either. They might not be running counterspells, guys. There's a real possibility. Alright, it's their end step. We can't wait any longer. Pop the High Noon for 5. And then the big thing is next turn, does the High Noon land? Oh, what could this be? Oh, Seed of Hope. Oh, it's only 2. It's only 2. We still have 5 in hand. Okay, but it could be another Seed of Hope. All right, here goes nothing. Here goes nothing. I'm on the edge of my seat. They still got 4 mana open, guys. Holy cow. If we could pull this through. Guys. The opponent's thinking. This town ain't big enough. That doesn't do it, right? Oh, the card draw, the card draw. Okay, that's actually pretty clever. They're making sure they see as much as possible off the top. The High Noon lands. 5 damage. We're trying it now. They still have 2 mana open. It's a crab. Another card draw. Guys, I think that's it. I think we got the 5 through. Good game, opponent. Holy cow, bro. Oh my goodness. That's good. That's good. Guys, let's call it there on a very good high note. 46 minutes into the video, end of video pack. It's a Bloomburrow pack. Ooh. Oh, we collected everything from Bloomburrow, which is actually good news, but Angels at High Noon. All right. Here's the deck list again, guys. Did I bring up in the middle of the video? I'm completely blanking right now, but guys, down in the description, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but down there we have the Discord link as well as the Patreon link if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. And then also, if you liked the video, make sure you drop it a like. If you enjoy the channel, consider subscribing because it really does help out the channel. So thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm totally blanking if I brought that up somewhere in the middle. Well, either way. High Noon. Yeah. Holy cow, we need to do just like a full High Noon build around with burn, right? Totally. A full burn deck list with High Noon. Now, of course, when you're going full burn and you got High Noon, you gotta like think like, well, a lot of burn likes to play a lot of cards all in the same turn, and they're all doing the same burn thing. So whatever burn we're thinking, we kind of have to think outside the box for High Noon. So like, I guess big burn pieces, early ways to survive, a lot of instant things, look into some flash creatures as well. That could be really cool. Going this whole angel route, though, this was a lot of fun to build with you guys over on the Twitch channel. Somewhere down in that description as well, guys, there's a little button for Twitch. You click on that and brings you over to the Twitch channel where Red Cat Tavern over there on Twitch. So, okay, anyways, wow. Yeah, I could not be more pleased with that last game, but boy, victories are very hard to come by with pretty much every deck list that I'm bringing into ranked. The opponents are really bringing it, man, and it's just been tough uphill battles, period. Authority of Consuls has been working really well for me, and I've been playing more and more of it in different builds. There's even some aggro builds that don't mind the Authority. It's like, I think I brought this up at the beginning when I was going over it. There are games where the opponent plays a chump blocker, and that's it. That's enough to save them that turn. That's enough to get them to the Sunfall or whatever they need, right? Sometimes you have Authority. The only option they have is chump blockers, but they're entering tapped, and then you win next turn. And that happens more than you would think. Authority is no joke, and I guess like in a deck list like this, all 4 of them, there's no way to trade them out if we see too many. But there's also not too many opponents where it doesn't punish. Even like control deck lists and mid-range especially are spamming tokens onto the board, and so that still helps you out. And the life gain pushes you through for a couple extra turns, which could be all you need to get the extra mana that you need for the Archangel of Wrath in hand or something like that, right? And Archangel of Wrath also just being a key burn piece that's working well with the burn concept from High Noon and Lightning Helix too. Now, we're thinking like, oh, more Lightning Helix could be good, but what are we dropping? You don't really want to drop Soul Partition because you still want the generic spot removal too, especially since Soul Partition works well with the Aven Interrupter. Elspeth Smite, go up the third Lightning Helix. That's very possible, since Elspeth Smite is just a one of, especially. But personally, guys, I'm not going to change anything with the deck list. Also, go ahead and put it on the do not craft list because it is a very expensive list full of cards that you might not see outside of something like this. So, like Authority of Consuls is rare. Like I said, I've been having good success with it. That doesn't mean you want to craft them though. But if you have like one or two of them, one or two still works well in specific deck lists like this, especially mid-range. So Giada Font of Hope is rare, High Noon is rare, Soul Partition is rare, the Aven Interrupter is rare, Archangel of Wrath is rare, then Vindicator and Aurelia are both mythic. No, Aurelia is rare. Huh. Vindicator is the only mythic in here, guys. Then outside of that, we have our uncommons and our commons, and then a whole bunch of rares packed into the mana base. That, of course, can be used in other Boros builds too. So, a few things. Based on the Archangel of Wrath, we could probably have all 4 Cavern of Souls. I thought it was going to punish us since we have the Lightning Helix, but we just had so much mana all the time. 25 felt like too much, actually, a lot of the time, but at the same time, too, there's going to be so many turns where you're just like, oh, untap source off the top, I guess we win, and then you miss it. And you're pretty sad about that. So 25, I guess, felt right. I don't know, more testing required on the mana base for sure. But also, guys, if I'm continuing to rearrange all the rares, like I said, yeah, you can use them in other builds, but look at this. Look at this line of rares. Oh, dear. Put it on the do not craft list, huh? For sure, for sure. You already have most of the cards. This could be fun. Just note that it's going to take a little bit of practice at the beginning. High Noon is actually a pretty tough one. You got to like completely rearrange how your brain plays Magic, but any High Noon deck list is going to need a little bit of practice for that reason, unless you're already used to playing with High Noon, which I am not, and so I definitely could have used a little bit more practice to help a little bit. Guys, that first game where the Lightning Helix could have won us that game, if I didn't pop that Enduring Courage, that's pretty wild, man. That is really wild. So there's actually a lot of those games where we could go back and just say, oh, that was Red Cat's fault. That's not the deck's fault. So that's really saying something for sure about the power level that's already in the deck list. And guys, there's so much removal in Standard right now too. So these creature style deck lists really get punished for that. We could maybe stand to have a little bit less creatures, a little bit more removal, really lean it further into that mid-range side of things. We could have some emergency board wipes maybe for after the opponent has wiped our board already. We can wipe their board back. I don't know exactly how I want to fit that in though. Maybe drop a couple Youthful Valkyries for another Soul Partition and a third Lightning Helix. That could be good and it doesn't really rearrange the curve too much. Speaking of rearranging the curve, don't forget the Vindicator has the Disguise where you can actually have it come out as a 2/2 creature with Ward 2 for just 3 mana. So it rearranges the curve a little bit. Eventually you can use the Disguise cost and use that bottom ability, which is actually a really neat bottom ability. Whenever it's turned face up, exile up to X other target creatures from the battlefield and or creature cards from graveyards. When this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled cards to their owner's hands. Interesting, right? So it acts as a little bit of removal or potential way to bring back like Giada and Youthful Valkyrie and everything else that died early on. And the opponent really does want to remove this because flying lifelink is no joke on 4 power creature. Also Ward 2, so they're paying more to potentially remove this if they're not playing a nowhere to run deck list, of course. So I like it as an angel. And then there's actually chances where Giada's already established on the board, so Vindicator gets extra +1/+1 counters. And on those stats already, I like this. It's a good utility piece, I would say. But that's also why there's only one of them too. And a similar concept to the Aurelia, where it's really just in here as a 5 mana 4/4 Flying Vigilance Haste Angel. So that way, if we already have Giada on the board, Aurelia has a really good chance of coming down with extra counters and swinging on the same turn. Haste is very powerful in a deck list like this especially, right? So the rest of the abilities just a little bit of extra utility that might not even come into play, right? So whenever a player attacks with 3 or more creatures, you draw a card. Whenever a player attacks with 5 or more creatures, Aurelia deals 3 damage to each of your opponents and you gain 3 life. So if the opponent's going wide, Aurelia punishes them for that. Also, if we're going wide, we get benefits from that. So, all right, guys, holy cow. Hey, holy cow. Speaking of which, there's something that should have been in the honorable mentions, right? So 3 mana, 2/2, it has flash, so it works with the High Noon. It has flying, and of course it's an angel, right? So it works with the angel theme. When this creature enters, you gain 2 life and you scry 2. So over on Twitch, we opted for Inspiring Overseer instead because it actually replaces itself. If Holy Cow did the exact same thing as Overseer but also had flash, then of course Holy Cow would have made the cut. That actually would just be very powerful. But the Scry 1 is a little bit weaker than just drawing the card straight up. So, however, Holy Cow does fit the theme and fit with High Noon well, doesn't it? All right, guys, enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.